you hear that? All right, so we'll open it up to questions. Gosh, it's beautiful. Hear that? All right, so we'll open it up to questions.
If you're sharing a hotel room with friends, you're also sharing a bathroom and a mirror, a tiny hairdryer, and an
She don't need no on the dance floor.
What up? I'm not seeing your hobby in the list. Refresh it. Six 9586. Says lobby not found. Wait. Lobby not found. Yeah. And you're not in the... Here are... S server. Yeah. Yeah. Beta builds for testing. Okay, and then just start that up. Oh, I gotta download it. I don't know, it's just saying starting download and it hasn't done anything yet. It's small. 1.7 gigs. Wait, what happened? Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Nice. I'm down for whatever you're feeling.
Computer algorithms is actually the dumbest thing.
Oh, shit. Damn it. You got a lobby? Oh, I'm down either way. What are you feeling? I see it. Yeah. Oh, straight up. Oh no, I got caught on a gosh. Run! Oh! Alright. Oh shit, I can't see shit. How do you turn the light on? pee. Yeah. No. Whack. Left. Right. Left. Right. Left. Straight. Right. Straight. Straight. Double straight. Got a blue card. Go. Straight. Straight all the way through. Take a left here. Left. Oh, wait. Right. Left. Oh, shit! Fuck, 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 fuck. Right. Left. Straight. The door! Yeah. I like the nostalgia floor. Are we safe in here for a second? What is going on with this table? Yeah. One here. Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay. Okay. Sure. Ah! Wait, I'm coming back. Oh. Yeah, I know it like lagged. Or it's like lagging. Fuck! It won't. Might be like input lag. Wow. I'm like teleporting. I know, I'm just fighting the lag. Oh, this is good if you just do it fast. Oh shit, my boy. I fell through the hole and I'm in. Yeah. Are you gonna come through the same portal? Oh god, it's getting darker. Oh god! There's a poop monster! He ate me. It doesn't say. On that night. What do you have to do in this one? Have fun. That's what it says down here.
You. Let's do. Is there any of these?
Hold on, Kathy, getting a phone call.
What, bro?
This one? Oh, that's a table. That table or this table? Yellow or purple? Oh. Ah! Whack. Oh. Coming. Oh, the darkness. Charlie Murphy. You get got? What? See that leg? Horse. Chop. Yeah, what is that garbage? No. Oh. Darkness, Charlie Murphy. We get my right here. What the fuck do I need? Oh, fires 2 coins. I was cornered there. There's nowhere I could have gone. Ooh. I'm already down. Whoa. Where are you at?
So I figured out what we need to do. We need to collect coins, and then you gotta put them in doors to unlock the doors. The door will tell you how many coins you need to unlock it. Are you coming? Oh, you were already down in the... Oh, shit, I was... Snap it. I went down this one. Wow. Fuck. Okay, so use those to hide. Oh! That's creepy as fuck. Does it not attack you in the light?
Yo.
Yo.
Cody, how much does it cost to buy the normal skins?
You know, if you gotta ask.
Like $15. Hey, you want to get your ass
Get on
spanked?
some Rivals.
You can't afford that ass spanking. People pay good money to spank this ass.
I think I got the job.
Oh,
Buckland.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
nice. Where was your interview at?
Just at Winco. Do you know what Winco is?
I don't, admittedly.
It's just like a big grocery
Like-
store overnight stalker.
Nice. No, the grocery stores are fucking good jobs. Union job?
I'm not sure. I didn't ask.
Most grocery stores in California.
All right. Try this a couple more times and then we'll switch
Nighttime
up.
gets a $1 more pay, so it's kind of nice.
Oh.
There you go.
Sweet. You want to see what you did?
That's like
this.
the overnight hours, technically.
Like so the dude said sometimes they start at like
Oh wait,
11,
you were
but
like
usually 12.
you were like floating.
Something like
somehow.
that.
How are you doing
which
that?
is chill because I'm usually like a night
Yeah,
person
yeah.
anyway.
It's like a full 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
But everyone starts off part time, which is chill. It'd be nice to like get you in the flow of the graveyard shift.
Yeah, 100%. little mirror match, bro. You gonna fucking you gonna take that? You gonna let that happen? Oh, you got a good healer, bro. They're healing you up.
Yeah. Yeah, like you have to trade off. Yeah.
Dude, I will say the one lesson I learned the hard way was when I came home from college for a year and I worked at a golf course and I was an opener.
So like I had to be on site at like 4 a.m. or something like that.
Ooh.
And dude, like the first week, so it was kind of like a lot of guys like the opening shift, especially because a lot of the guys that worked there were like a little bit older, you know, like I don't know, probably like mid 30s, early 40s.
I opened this door over here.
And so they loved the opening shift because then they could fucking get home and like have most of their day, or they had a wife, you know, whatever. But I got promoted to it, or like they ask if you want to do it, you have to like make it valet,
shit, he's right here.
and then once you make valet, you get the option if you like hit that level. So it's like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'll do it. Everybody always talks about wanting to get it. But the first week, dude, I was really dumb and like didn't go to bed at a decent hour. Then dude, the first 3 shifts I had were fucking miserable. Like I had to have a fat lip in, like dip in, just
food, just like internet, like freaking being down on the neck. Oh no!
Oh,
most miserable thing ever. And like you get all juiced up because you like wake up, you're like, okay, like the first couple hours after you've only woke up for like 3-4 hours, you know, like you fucking down a coffee, you're like, all right. And the morning part of the job when you pull the golf carts out and stuff is like pretty involved. So like you're moving, you're like on your feet, you don't really have the chance to like sit and just be fucking tired.
I'm gonna try to be really good about sleeping. Like I'm gonna take.
Yeah, you gotta do it, man. That's even harder. That's because that's like your schedule gets split, but you gotta fucking do it. Even if it's like you just go to bed right when you get home, you know, and then you wake up and then like, you know, you're up for 16 hours or whatever, and that's like the last, you know, however many hours of your day.
gonna flop here in a
You
second.
gotta sleep, bro. Otherwise, you pay the price.
Yeah, I'm a person that definitely needs my sleep. I can't power through the tired hours. I just like it's too mentally exhausting, and that makes me even more
And bro,
physically
it's really
exhausted.
bad. It's so bad for you, honestly. Like, dude, when I was doing that, like, I started gaining weight pretty quick, and like, you know, I just had my diet. Like, I always was craving like terrible for me foods, and like, I was never like full, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to do it. You've got to take care of yourself and like sleep and eat the right shit. Otherwise, you're fucked.
What have I done?
Dude, Cody, the AK-12 fucking slaps in arena.
Oh yeah, because the rate of fire, any fast rate of fire gun in arena is really good.
Dude, I was trying to use the Scar heavy earlier, and like I went like 1 and 7 in back-to-back games. I was like, bro, I can't be playing this.
That shit is way too bouncy.
Yeah. When you can mod it out and kind of long range camp with 7.62, it's not bad in like real Tarkov, but in arena, bro.
Like I always watch streamers like get point fire kills with that gun, but then I try it and it's just like, dude, no way. Drawing a fucking
You
rhombus.
almost can use it. You almost can use it like an RSAS, you know?
Yeah, kind of.
People run RSASs nonstop in this shit.
If it had a burst mode, that'd be kind of gnarly.
Yeah.
Like the G36
Yeah.
that you could kind of tap. I feel like that would make it really good. Look at my old. Look at right here.
Oh, no way. No. I knew he was coming too. This is nuts.
The FAL is also very good in arena.
The SA-58? Yeah, I haven't used it yet.
Yeah.
I haven't even unlocked it yet. Dude, I really want to use the 6 spear.
That is also very good.
I'm almost level 14. Dude, this level carries over to real Tarkov?
Yep.
Oh, bro, next wipe, I'm just gonna fucking grind this shit out.
I don't know if it'll be like that next wipe. It was said that it was like this. It might be rumored to be like this because this wipe is a shorter wipe. But
Oh, okay.
if it is like this, I'm definitely gonna
Yeah.
go. That's what I'll be doing.
fucking gamer, bro.
Oh my god, deleted.
This guy's fucking nuts.
Fucking deleted. They literally just like got Thanos snapped.
Her ult, when they're like rushing
Your
and they
ult
don't,
is
like,
literally a Thanos snap.
I've done that to so many teams when they're like trying to rush into the point. But and you have to click the ult early so they don't really or anything, and then they like run in. And
Can you like, do you click it to like activate it and it blows up? Does it like charge up and do more damage or like what?
Jesus,
action and
bro.
then
This guy is fucking nuts.
I was just sitting there on the point watching them all run, and then they literally all just like turned to like little sharks.
Yo, you a gamer or what, bro? That was pretty dope.
Yeah, dog.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Hey, so am I, but I'm not playing that well. He said he has 2,000. You say you have 2,000 games? Oh, he got killed. Damn. We're done. We lost.
2,000 games in arena is hair pulling.
Oh, Andrew, get on fucking. Damn, that would have been a sick round for me. 161 2. Dude, the Val fucking slaps, bro. I get stomped by it every time.
They also changed up the ammo buck.
I noticed that, so you can only use certain ammos on certain classes.
Yeah, but like 545 BP is better than like BT in BS now, I think. Like they swapped some ammo around and they made like the ammo damage more like easy to read. Like you can just hover over a bullet or inspect a bullet and it shows you pen and damage.
Oh, so you don't have to go to the fucking Tarkov ammo chart shit.
Yeah.
Than a life policy.
I will say it is nice how they have it set up in Arena, so that like just the
It comes with being a new parent.
meta point just shows, it just tells you, hey, this is the-
Yeah. Yeah.
And building a plan for tomorrow, today. For the ones you'll always look out for, trust Amica Life Insurance. Amica.
I need deals.
Empathy.
I need deals.
Oh, no way. Dude,
Oh my god, I'm my life. Run, Kylie.
Hey, good effort.
When Thor says my vigor returns, it sounds.
Hey, you say you have 2K?
Yeah.
Your what returns, Thor?
2,223 games. Damn, that's fucking nuts, bro.
Damn.
What level are you?
holy shit! Holy crap!
Dude, this guy's level 68. He's only ever played ranked. He has two.
Help! Oh my fucking Loki is retarded. God. I think it's a bot.
Yo, long left.
I'm capping the point. They don't even know. You know.
Get mine.
Dude, shoot! My gun literally wouldn't shoot. What is this? What is this?
I'm coming.
What is this?
Dude, I like pressed the
And the
left mouse
point.
button before I let go of
Where's
sprint.
the
Because I was on continuous
freaking
sprint.
exit?
And it wouldn't shoot. Cody, by the way, do you run continuous
It
sprint or just press sprint?
Continuous.
So I was watching some Chud play, and he was saying that if you run continuous, when you stop sprinting, it doesn't slide you. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So if you run continuous instead of press,
You know what? I might
The
be press. I might have to look into that.
Oh shit. Oh shit! Behind!
Fuck! Come back!
No.
I'm gonna die!
No, we're saying green Loki's green things.
Say again.
I got Bucky on me.
I would vote
Oh shit! Shark!
pasta just because I had like a chicken wrap for lunch.
No!
I love
I'm
Thor.
trying. Why is he so fast?
Thor is so fucking fun to play, dude. You can bully anyone.
At Amica Insurance,
It's like old
it's more
Reinhardt. Feels
than
like
a life policy.
with no shield.
It's about the promise and the responsibility
Shit,
of
guys.
being a new parent, being there day and night, and building a plan for tomorrow.
Calendar says
today.
practice ends at 6:15.
For the ones you'll
Give
always
it
look
Damn.
out
fact that it's
for.
like borderline range.
One more
Trust
run and
Amica
then
Life
You got a bunch of kids out
switch.
that are sick and stuff.
Amica.
I would be shocked
Empathy
if it
is
goes
our
longer.
best
than
All
that.
right, let's
policy.
do.
I'm just letting you know.
No, right here.
Just letting you know.
Zero.
Keep your cow. That's what he says. Keep the cow.
Oh,
Brian, have you seen the game like Only Up? It's called Get to Work, like with your own roller skates. You should check that game out. It seems like a game that you'd like. Get to Work, and you're like a guy on all fours, but you have roller
Right
skates
there, I
on,
got-
and you gotta go through like a ramp course, like but like it's like a get only up style.
Oh shit! Where am I going?
It should be, yeah. Get the shark, nice. Oh, Venom's weak too. If I had my ult there, they'd all die.
I was higher and I was
Right here.
the other way.
Come on, Hella, get a kill
4
already.
coins. 4 coins. Shit.
Ready for this buck?
I got 3. Oh, here we go.
Mjolnir's gonna pull me off to
Bro, I
victory.
said the worst team kill in the history of
Out
team
of my way.
kills. I literally had a complete brain fart about what team we were.
I always do that shit.
Dude, I literally looked at this guy like I shot him. He didn't shoot back at me, and I stopped for a second. Then I
Oh. Just like
We need 4.
going in, Kai. Another one right here. Got her. Backing off. Going in again. Oh, he's pulling us.
I died.
No.
It like canceled my ult, but I still have my. I can still use my ult. That was weird.
Nice. Oh, I just got munched. The shark's a munch.
Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff's a munch.
I'm down in the what's it called room. Found a room with arrows on it, but it takes 4 coins to open
I'm
the
so
next
dead.
door.
I'm so dead here. Oh my
You have
god.
any
how many
coins?
is that?
4.
Whew.
70,000
Fucking payload.
I got 3.
Bob Dylan is the reason for it.
Inspired by the true story.
Let's go.
Hold your attention on stage. It's
Down the hole.
Freak.
Are you a freak?
Hope so.
And starring Timothy Chalamet as Bob Dylan. He defied everyone
Yo, General PP, not bad, bro. I'm a full
to
retard, bro.
change everything.
Make some noise.
General
Timothy
PP.
Chalamet, Edward Norton, Elle Fanning, Monica Barbara, a complete unknown. Only in theaters Christmas Day. Rated R, under 17, not admitted without parent.
Are we playing again?
Oh, cannon sights? Yeah. Are you guys ready or should we roll another?
What do you think, Brian? You want to just switch?
Just go ahead and roll one more. Or you're switching right now, Brian.
3 long left.
What do you know
We
what we
found
do
a
after this point right here?
Oh my god.
I'm down in the stoplight room. Yeah, 4. The lights are on.
Oh. Dude, this guy ate so many bullets.
Yeah, what are we supposed to do here?
Oh, I didn't realize you could pick up nades on the ground.
Yeah, and heals. You used to be able to have nades, but now they made nades like some maps. I don't know how they spawn.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. When we first started playing Tarkov together and you could spawn in with nades, dude, it was nuts.
Remember, like you can always get nades off the thread.
Yeah, you can throw nades so far in Tarkov, bro. So like almost every map you could huck across that nade. Yeah. Dude, just fucking mortars. Oh my god.
Mortars.
They need to do a Tarkov arena event where they
Did you ever see the event when it was mortars? There was a mortar event.
No.
Like randomly in the map, it just getting mortars rained on it, and you could die to it.
Dude, this guy has like his audio turned up to 11. I don't know how he hears.
Probably some headphones, because they really changed headphones too.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, Comtech 4s aren't the best headphones anymore. There's new headphones.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because Comtact 4s literally have like the highest meta point value in your kit loadout.
Yeah, but there's like I don't know if they've added them yet. They might have not added them yet. I like the XLs. I've kind of started to like the big muffy like earmuff headsets, like the big circular.
This Bussy guy's running Comtact 4s, and he looks like he hears fucking everything.
It could just be in regular. I could be wrong in regular Tarkov, because I know there is new headphones. There's like 3 or 4.
One far left crates.
Cody, look at the Spider-Man's
Rapping.
name.
Bully Bob.
Just sounds funny.
I saw that. I was gonna say something about that in the beginning when I saw that. Venom's almost dead. Oh fuck.
Motherfucker.
Nice. Good shit, babe.
In the back, in the back, in the back. Right here.
Rocket right in front of you, right here on me. Oh my god,
Oh,
her
I
ult just blocked my ult.
Headshotted.
Dead. I got too cocky. No respawn.
Look at Spider-Man being a little fucking...
Spider. Look at him. Yeah, I'm just hanging.
You boot goofing?
You boot goofing.
Who's alive, Brian?
Premium ostrich.
They're gonna send 3 long again.
Use my ult.
I'm...
They don't have a healer. I need help contesting it.
My sanity is getting whacked.
That's you. One's up high, one's up high.
I'm looking around in the...
Wow.
Oh, and you just shot me.
What the fuck?
You got it. You got it. That Doctor Strange ability where he literally punches your soul out of you is
Oh, it's our
cool as fuck.
spawn already. How the fuck?
Damn good defense. We stopped that. They're
The
literally at a
fuck
full
is
bar.
This door.
Back up, back up, back up.
Who's on our left side? Who's on our left side?
Who does that? Those steps. Have you ever noticed those black gooey steps? Is that Venom?
5 coins.
Holy
Or is
shit.
that
Holy
this?
shit.
Oh, I never even noticed
Right here, right here.
that.
Let's go.
Yep.
Every
Right here
door
with
is
you?
5 coins.
Another one. Rocket right here, babe. Rocket right here.
If I needed to hold it, or if it was one of you guys.
I'm so dead.
Just back up. Let's just back up. Let's just back up. We got 40 seconds. Let's hold this narrow. Behind us, behind us.
I'll
Doctor
go up to
Strange
the middle.
did a portal behind us. They're gonna start flowing behind us. Watch this. Watch back up there from time to time.
My sanity is fucked.
There's a fucking sniper
I don't
over
have
here.
pizza.
I need heals.
No,
I need heals
I
so
only
bad.
have coins.
Middle.
It's okay. He doesn't do anything during the happy time.
Venom's low. Venom's low. Venom's low.
Yep. He's trying to go to point and contest. I'm body blocking him. I'm gonna ult to just zone him out.
Damn, sucker.
Blocked.
Oh.
Another epic victory. That's what she said.
Eat your hot chocolate. Frost.
Oh, I don't know about that, bro.
Cody, what
Spent
level were you?
6 coins to locate the exit.
14, 15, 15.
I think 19.
You're 13. It says.
I'm 19.
You wish. Oh.
I actually think I'm 19, so.
Could we just switch it up? Marvel arrives. 'Cause I cannot find the shit.
Bucky, you gonna play some Marvel Rivals?
I gotta go to football after this game, actually.
What? Darn.
He's not gonna see me.
Yeah, we gotta
Just gonna jump out.
last
He's not
week.
gonna see me.
Team needs to hurry up and lose.
Doesn't matter now. I was saying that for a few weeks there. I was kind of over it, but now it's like it's the state final game. So like, fuck it, I want to win.
All right.
You guys
I'm
think
over
you're
this.
gonna win?
B lane. Switching it up, brother.
I think we're projected to lose by like a touchdown, maybe. Let me look. So
Are you
we're at
confident you're gonna win?
Down to try that again though sometime.
Or do you know?
No,
it's
I
gonna
don't
be a
know.
dogfight?
This team's not bad. It's called, they're 12 bridges from Northern California, like Lincoln, California, technically, like south of North Sacramento.
Okay.
The projected score is 28-19 on Cal Preps, which is like the
Damn defensive
analytics
game,
model. Huh? Dude, our defense
a-
has been legit, dude. Like,
That's a defensive game.
I got a question for you. For the folks at home who don't know
oh, the team that we're playing.
Well, no, I said that's a defensive game.
Yeah, so
Like
Oh,
28
yeah.
to 19.
Yeah, but our game's been pretty low scoring, bro. Because our defense is pretty good and our offense is really young. So like, we won our last game 28-10. We won the CIF championship 23-7. We went to semis 27-24.
Did your defense
Quarterfinals.
score?
Yeah, our defense had a pick six actually in the last two games.
That helps a lot.
And then yeah, our defense has been pretty locked down.
Would you have this at your home? Some of our students, they don't have a good enough working laptop to be doing online learning, so we just send them a laptop. We send them laptops.
All right, fillers.
All right, but
Talk to you later.
peace.
Because these are like purple paths, an alternative to standard paths and driveways, and it's so easy to install. It's made from unused non-recoverable.
Just like that. See that? Easy and simple. Y'all watch this part right here. It's gonna be easy too. Just like a big truck tire. I do it just like a big truck tire, y'all. It going on. So what I'm gonna do? Put one knee on. I'm on the ground with the child. Come on, baby. Come on, big bro. Just like this, y'all. If y'all trying to do this, y'all just take y'all time. I got faith in each and every one of y'all. They go. Just like this. All you gotta do. Just like this, y'all. Easy. Look at that. Easy. Just like that. Easy, y'all. It's so easy. Look. King. Look at that. The hard part is breaking the tie off the rim. That's the hard part. This the easy part. It's so easy. Look at that, y'all. You do it like this right here. Bam. Throw them deuces up. Hey, how y'all doing? Thank y'all for watching, team. Just in case.
All right.
Go, baby. Just like that. See that? Easy and simple. Y'all watch this part right here.
Still doing that? I wonder if I haven't looked.
Just like
Game
a big
capture.
truck. Do it just like a big truck. It going on. So what I'm gonna do? Put one knee on. I'm on the ground with the child. Come on, baby.
What's up with
Come
that?
on,
Yeah.
big bro. Just like this, y'all. If y'all trying to do this, y'all just take y'all time. I got faith in each and last one of y'all. Let go. Just like this. All you gotta do. Just like this, y'all. Easy. Look at that. Easy. Just like that. Easy, y'all. It's so easy. Look. King. Look at that.
Chapter 1 Breakfast Blend. Paul awoke to the blaring sound of his alarm. 6 p.m. blinked in bright red LED characters over and over, threatening to sound its klaxon again if ignored. This meant he had slept through 3 others, so, saved by redundancy once again. He had no obligations today, so the shame of losing time was his to ignore. He pressed the alarm button softly, satisfying the ringing from beginning again, and walked down the hallway. Staring at the neon green hues of his low-level night lights, Paul began to shake off the pallor of sleep. Stumbling into the bathroom, he looked into the mirror. Paul became acutely aware of the impact his insomnia had had on his appearance. Dark rings shadowed the bottom of his eyes, which themselves were bloodshot and glazed over. Deciding all he could really do was wash his face and shave off the stubble that had formed, Paul took notice of the distinct lack of the aroma of coffee brewing. Being an insomniac and a recluse like Paul, one of the few pleasures he could take from his daily routine was a cup of coffee in the morning, or really any time of day. Often Paul needed the caffeine just to function in daily society and not appear to be some sort of shambling corpse. Knowing that this was one of his few guilty pleasures, Paul had splurged on himself and bought a Coffee Captain 9000. A machine so elegant and over-engineered that he was sure its market demographic was in fact insomniacs. With special features including brew times tied to the owner's alarms, and extra dark brewing options to extract all the caffeine possible from the coffee beans, Paul felt seen. Given the exorbitant sum Paul had paid for this machine, he was surprised to not smell the aromatics of brewing coffee that he so relied on. Leaving his face half unshaven, Paul quickly left the bathroom and walked down the long hallway with its cold wooden floor to the kitchen. Even in the low-light settings he left his house in, he could see the Coffee Captain sitting on the kitchen counter with its
Do you guys care if I put a
text
song in the
scrolling.
Discord?
As he approached it, Paul saw that it read an error code and a
I'll
phone
put one
number
in for
to a
you.
customer service line. Paul's Spartan apartment had few amenities, let alone a landline. So, in
Does
his
this,
rush to
when you
contact
stream
them,
it in
he had to
Discord, does
run
it
to
make you stream
retrieve his
without
phone
sound?
from the charging
That asked me that thing too.
He had left the TV on the night before, or maybe day before. He wasn't really sure, and the usual strange infomercials were playing in muted silence. He picked up the cell phone and returned to the kitchen, closing a window he had left open that was whipping cold air into the room in gusts. As he did, he dialed the number from the screen. He also opened a drawer and retrieved a pad and pencil so he could take down any information he might need from the customer service representative. The line rang twice before it was answered curtly by a gravelly voiced woman. "How can I help you?" she said. "Hello. Yes, Mom. I'm calling about my Coffee Captain 9000. It's reading an error code and that's where I found your number. Do you sleep while you're under?" She said in a tone that was slightly off. "Excuse me." Paul said. "I said. Can you read me the number?" The representative said, sounding irritated. "Sure, it's 799,799,799, Paul said quizzically, realizing the number was so repetitious. "You got an easy one, I guess," said the representative. "Okay, unless you have the original packaging and receipt, we're going to need you to take it to your nearest outlet location." Paul kept almost nothing in his apartment, and was an avid recycler, so needless to say, he didn't have the original packaging. "I'm afraid I don't have those," Paul said. "Well, then you'll have to take it to the closest retail store that supports our return policy." Paul turned to gaze out the window at the cold alpine forest lying beyond his property. He had spent a small fortune building a home with all the amenities that he could need in the isolation of the wilderness. The only drawback being that occasionally he would have to travel to civilization, which was not an insignificant distance. Given that he worked remotely, this was not something he had to do often. Really only when he needed supplies or rarely for recreation. Paul was contemplating how to explain to this representative that there would be no nearby store, let alone one that supported their return policy. Before he could speak, she said, "There's a location 5 miles from your current address." Paul felt a bit bewildered by that statement but assumed that he had left his VPN active on his computer. "I'm sorry, Mom, my location might not be accurate in your guy's system." There was a long pause and a subtle ticking sound that reminded Paul of knocking his teeth together. "It should be fine," she said. "We have you listed at 799 Pine Knot Ridge." Shocked that his address was accurate and, in their system, considering that he had never provided it to them, Paul stammered, "I wasn't aware of any stores nearby." You're heading to the wall-to-wall mart at 825 Knock Pine Road, they said in a flat tone. Before Paul could reply with a thank you, the line disconnected. He quickly wrote down 825 Knock Pine Road and the name wall-to-wall mart, still stunned that a store like this could be so close without him knowing. Paul sat a moment with the idea of driving out into a small snowstorm.
Nice.
Daunting as that might be on a normal day in the middle of the woods, it was made even more so by considering his destination. Paul really was in the middle of nowhere, so the idea
Howard
of a large
Jones is a
department store
badass.
being somewhere nearby was almost too much to believe. While he contemplated this, an alarm chimed on his phone that chimed Eve now Paul.
Not Jesse Leach, but the other singer of Kill Switch.
Some kind of protein bar and
A black guy.
Cola for some caffeine. He consumed them joylessly, reacting almost by reflex, considering that he had almost no.
This guy that's singing right now.
Satisfied he had at least eaten, Paul grabbed a few of the pre-made meal tech meals he had delivered every week for the drive over. He opened the hallway closet and pulled his bag out and stuffed the sealed containers inside.
There you go.
He noticed his hiking gear still inside from a cancelled trip weeks ago as he sat it on the chair by the back door. Paul stared blankly, lost in thought for a few moments. After a while he shook his head, puffed at his absent-mindedness and continued hurrying about collecting his things. A jacket, a hat, his portable charger. What was he forgetting? He came to, staring out the window at snow blustering over his deck in giant flurries, tapping the glass with ice crystals. "Meds," shouted Paul so loudly he startled himself. He half-jogged to the bathroom cabinet where he found a handful of day bags, pre-made packs of his medications for trips and outings, and pocketed two, just to be safe. As he left the bathroom he had a devious thought, maybe he could still get a cup of coffee out of that machine before he left. He contemplated the long cold drive to the store as he approached the coffee captain, and decided it was worth a try. The beans, pricelessly exotic and aromatic, were already ground to a fine powder, compressed into pucks and loaded into the complex espresso machine, so it was a risk. The risk Paul was already taking as he thumbed the control panel, selecting the darkest pull available, and went to grab a mug from the drying rack next to his sink. When he turned back to the coffee captain, he heard the telltale rush of steam signaling its readiness to make magic, and he felt warm relief. Walking quickly the few paces across the kitchen, Paul looked inside his mug to make sure it was thoroughly clean. He then set it handle facing out ritualistically just as the dark liquid stared to drip through the screen. The smell came to him like the memory of a good dream, filling his nostrils with nostalgia and comfort that he only found in these moments. The subtleties of this blend's aroma were at first simple, but developed from that simplicity into a Euclidean mixture of vanillas and chocolates that danced on the edge of a spice Paul could never place. As he looked down at the mug filling slowly with steaming liquid, he heard a heavy plop. The screen that filtered the espresso seemed to have bent slightly outwards, stopping the flow of coffee to his dismay. "Fuck," Paul said under his breath, considering he may have just voided some warranty by using the machine while it showed an error code that was now flashing in bright red pulses. Paul went to unplug the machine when a loud pop emanated from inside, and he heard the hiss of steam again, but more violently. Dark liquid began to pour over his cup into a steaming puddle on the counter, sputtering occasionally for another heavy plop of black goo. He began to panic as he watched his precious lifeline to awareness teeter on the precipice of explosion when it suddenly stopped. It hissed quietly and with a gurgle started pouring out black sludge, so much that it knocked his mug over, shattering it on the floor with a thick splash. He stared in horror as the dark sludge ran in runnels over his counter and kitchen floor towards him like a hungry amoeba. As he felt the first, vivid and intense, and at the same time he realized this whole situation was absurd, and that he was more than likely hallucinating. Paul had spent a lot of money and time with therapists, hypnotists and meditation gurus trying to find a way to ease his mind into sleep or at least manage his symptoms when his meds inevitably didn't cover it. One method he had learned from one of these gurus off Greg's list was the ability to pull himself out of a semi-dream state safely. Mostly not fall on his face when he woke up. Paul looked at his watch as the dark liquid began to set fire to his kitchen and said, "Time to wake up Paul," and immediately put his hands out in front of him to catch himself. He leaned forward into the counter, and it wasn't covered in black sludge. He was fine, and more importantly, the kitchen wasn't engulfed in flames. This happened often enough to be the justification Paul used for his isolated lifestyle. In his experience, it was harder for others to see than it was for him to deal with alone, judgment-free. Unfortunately, the error code was still blinking in reality and additionally scrolled the words "disconnect from power supply." "That's great," he huffed in defeat. Paul threw on his coat and grabbed the keys to his Bronco off the hook, adding the scarf and hat, and stepped into his boots in preparation for the cold. Paul opened the door and was blasted by a gale of icy snow that almost threw him off balance as he stepped outside. The snow was almost a foot thick already and dense, so he half ran to his truck and hopped inside. The engine fired up right away and Paul turned on the heat and radio, in fact right on time to hear his favorite radio DJ sign on, Chester the Collector, who ran a call-in conspiracy theory line late night. The DJ growled his signature introduction to the segment. "It's that time of the evening again, my little whistleblowers and partygoers. Give us a call and tell all, we promise we're listening," as a simulated phone rang in the background. Paul waited a moment to hear the first caller when the signal turned to static. Feeling impatient, he ran back inside to finish getting ready. As he ran around the house locking windows and setting alarms, he grabbed a few more items: his wallet, a pocket knife and a vape that he wasn't really sure he needed. It helped keep him awake, but it was a bad habit that he needed to get rid of soon. He picked out a better pair of walking shoes and threw them in his bag and walked out, locking the front door behind him with a satisfying beep from his security system, and a dull clunk of the lock falling into place. The snow was falling more slowly now in large clumps in an almost peaceful way, but not enough for him to forget how dangerous it was. He hopped into the warm cab, filled with the smell of burning dust coming from the heaters, just in time to hear the back end of a call-in to Chester the Collector. "She kept on telling me it didn't make any sense for it to be there," the man rasped, sounding terrified, a common tactic to sell their story. "We drove by there a few days before and all there was forest, and then wham. Some kinda." There was static for a few moments. Seconds later it came back with white noise. "She didn't even stop when I asked how in the gosh damn is that supposed to happen?" She went. The radio turned to static again. "Damn it, that sounded good," Paul mumbled to himself as he slipped on his seatbelt and took a long minty drag from his vape. He put the Bronco in gear and slowly rolled towards his entry gate, giving it time to swing open and lock into place. The high beams caught the flurry of snow in vivid detail, and Paul rounded the corner of Pine Knot Drive, looking onto the main road covered in unblemished white powder. It was eerie, and other than his engine and the intermittent sound of the radio coming through, it was deathly quiet. Shaking off the feeling, Paul checked the GPS and pulled onto the road, his tires digging in unevenly to the snowpack and balancing out as he drove. The drive time somehow was only 10 more minutes, but Paul had driven this way many times and never so much as seen a construction sign. He had to be lost. As he drove, the radio came through again. This time it was Chester the Collector talking to the audience in a faux somber tone. "Well, we hope that she comes out of there sometime, pal. But hey, no need to be in such a hurry to get off the hall. Or did you leave us by accident? Ha ha ha." He growled, "Come on, call us. There's a vacancy on the line and we don't have the time to wait." Spooky, scary, or just not ordinary, let us all know about it, baby. Pale looked down the road and was shocked to see a bright white light appear ahead on his left. The source was two bright floodlights illuminating a backlit sign that read wall-to-wall Mart in neat blue and orange letters sitting on atop a small manicured lawn on a raised bed. Chapter 2, Decaf. Paul shook his head in astonishment. Was he really seeing this? Was there actually a fully fledged department store right next to his house? Out here in the woods? He considered these things as he turned the corner behind the well-manicured sign postings, noticing the road was already cleared of snow. The hedges alongside the driveway were immaculately trimmed, with neatly placed lights every few feet lighting the parts of the roadway not already perfectly illuminated by the streetlights. Paul felt a strange sensation of gazing at perfection that creeped into his mind without his consent. It was strange. Paul thought that not only had he never heard of this place, but he had never seen it from his house. He built his home on a peak overlooking this valley for the view, yet he had never seen any sign of this wall-to-wall Mart. As he was lost in thought, he passed over an aggressive speed bump that sent his change flying out of the center console. "Holy shit," Paul exclaimed as he reoriented himself. He looked around in shame to see if anyone had seen him. They hadn't. He was alone. He was actually shockingly alone, as he soon realized. Other than a few scant vehicles on the outside edge of the expansive parking lot, he was the only actual person he could see. The only sign that the store was even open was the fact it was fully illuminated, and the snow was freshly cleared. Paul did his best to shake off the jitters he was feeling for some reason. His hands were trembling uncontrollably, and he felt the warning signs of another episode coming on. Paul scrambled for his meds, knowing if he reacted quickly, he could avoid the worst of his symptoms. He found one of his Ziplocs and tore it open and swallowed the contents without hesitation. He braced himself for the onslaught of change, waiting for the edges of reality to bleed and let his subconscious through, but it didn't come. Paul had been through this 1,000 times, and it never passed with no sign at all, but this one had. Paul felt foolish for taking his meds so quickly. He always felt awkward going into public after taking sedatives, but he wasn't driving at least. He might just space off mid-conversation a few times or drool a bit. Fun. He took a quick inventory of his stuff and threw open the door against the gusting wind.
I was fucking going off right
closing it
there for
to
a
avoid
second.
letting any more snow in. Damn it, scold Paul complained to himself, looking up at the quiet brilliance of the moon, standing out like a giant illuminated snowflake in the flooding. In the distance he saw a lone street lamp off to the side of the entrance like a little lighthouse casting a column of light that at least looked warm. Paul jogged carefully towards it, hitting the lock on his key fob as he did and listening for the telltale chirp of his alarm, but it didn't come right away. Paul stopped for a moment and listened for it pressing the button again, finally hearing a muffled chirp through the snow and a flash of yellow hazard
Damn, Wolverine is nasty.
Satisfied, Paul resumed jogging to the entrance as he was freezing his ass off by the moment. He reached the streetlight and finally could make out the front door just a few feet away. Paul quickly walked the short distance to the doors, and they slid open with a hiss-blasting pull with warm, clean-smelling air. The warmth was welcome as Paul entered the lobby and looked around for a cart but saw none. Surprisingly, this was just an empty room with a white linoleum floor and blue walls. Paul kind of liked that. Before he went in, he realized he hadn't taken a pull from his vape and poked his head out of the entrance. He took out his weehy vape and took another long minty drag until his lungs burned. As he blew the hit out, he looked up again to see the moon. When he did, the stars were clearer than he had seen in a long time, maybe ever, and he could clearly see what he thought to be an arm of the Milky Way. While he said as he ducked back inside, walking through the lobby and the second set of automatic doors with his head down as he felt anxious about having taken his meds. As soon as he picked his head up, he realized he may have taken the wrong meds, because there was no way this was right. Paul was looking at a department store with no walls as far as the eye could see, except the one he was standing in front of. That couldn't be real. This isn't real, he whispered to himself. He felt anxiety creep onto his skin like a cold sweat. He was having an attack in public. He felt like he should run, turn around and get in his car and accept defeat. He knew that if he waited too long it could get bad, maybe even dangerous for himself, as people typically mistook his episodes as the effects of drugs and would treat him cruelly. Paul knew these things about himself, but at the same time he felt like he wanted to prove he could do this for himself. Or maybe he just really wanted some of that coffee. Regardless, Paul continued. He took some solace that he had taken his meds before he came in, and that they might just need more time to take effect. Paul walked into the store by his own choice, lost in his own thoughts. As he did, he noticed a row of cash registers and conveyor belts, but still no people. Paul was looking for a staff member or store associate to point him in the right direction, but felt a bit of relief that he wouldn't have to talk to anyone yet. Is this one of those smart stores or something? Paul wondered as he looked from side to side, searching the line of registers for any sign of life, but keeping his head low so he didn't continue to see the reality-bending aspects of the store. He felt like averting his eyes might help him start leveling out, but his hopes weren't high. He decided if he didn't chill out he would just leave, and if anyone asked he would just say he forgot his wallet. He wasn't sure who would care, but he also wasn't being entirely rational. Paul dug his hands deeper into his pockets and found his keys, which he fidgeted with, distracting him for a moment as he walked staring at the floor. As he did, he saw a small canvas bag lying on the floor, directly under his left foot to be exact. He paused briefly, and then leaned down and picked it up. Someone must have dropped their purse. Paul thought to himself, examining the small bag. It was a khaki-colored worn shoulder bag that was surprisingly heavy. Paul lifted his gaze warily, expecting the same wrongness to his surroundings, and he wasn't surprised to find the infinite expanse continued. He shook his head and looked around, expecting to find a store associate. He was still alone, surrounded by an unending row of identical registers and aisles of perfect shelves, labeled overhead by hanging signs suspended by chains trailing off into nothingness. "Fuck," Paul said. As he stood there in a shame spiral, his eyes caught movement in one of the aisles. His head turned quickly in its direction and he began walking towards it. Whatever it was had been gone in a flash, so Paul wasn't entirely sure it had been real, but he kept walking. He swallowed hard, fighting the dry mouth he had from anxiety and his meds, and shouted with a slight crack in his voice, "Hello." He immediately felt awkward, knowing he had drawn attention to himself. He was holding someone's bag and was clearly having a mental episode. What the hell was he thinking? He stopped thinking the second a dark shape filled the end of the hallway like a wall covered in shadow. Paul had to strain his eyes to see the wall had limbs and a head. Well, the shape of limbs and a head. Paul's hallucinations were very rarely hostile, and never this purposeful. That felt like the right word as this wall with hands and a head moved methodically closer to him. Paul felt the hairs all over his body stand on end and his heart begin to thump in his chest. Whatever he was seeing, his body was reacting to now. He was losing control. He started walking backwards, his feet moving without having to be told to. Paul felt sweat drench the inside of his being and he reached out behind him for support, grazing a glass bottle of red liquid. It teetered back and forth as Paul turned to catch it, but in the process, he dropped the bag and fumbled the jar, dropping both on the ground. The sound of shattering glass was like an explosion to Paul, fear gripping his gut as he watched the red liquid spatter and pool around the handbag, looking like the scene of a murder. Paul instinctively turned to the thing he had seen in the aisle. It was still there, shadowed unnaturally in the well-lit space. A loud beep emanated from its direction, and with frightening speed, the wall thing rushed forward towards Paul. He braced himself for impact with his eyes closed, but only felt a cool rush of wind like a semi-truck had just driven by. He opened his eyes to see an odd shade of blue. Shocked, Paul took a few steps back and immediately was filled with fresh fear as he took in what was now in front of him. The wall was more accurately a thing, and it was vaguely human-shaped. It was close to 9 feet tall and had an immense frame. It wore a simple blue polo with the wall-to-wall mark logo on the right breast, a pair of tan shorts, or slacks. The thing's legs were hard to see, and a large wrist
Smoked
arm. Paul let out a quiet gasp as
Damn
the
it.
thing rummaged the mess he had just made. It wasn't until it found the back door
Fucking
that
ulted on
recalling
those
that
two
it took
bastards.
notice of him. It paused briefly when its limb touched the handbag, and slowly turned to Paul. He again began walking backwards in fear as a low grumble began to sound from deep within the creature like raking a comb. The smell that came from it was dusty and grainy. Paul couldn't place it. He stumbled back saying, "I found it, I didn't take it," as the creature began rounding on him. Paul turned in a moment's thought and ran as hard as his legs could go, harder even as he felt them strain. He felt the thing's presence behind him, feeling the vibrations of its massive weight clamoring behind him and smelling its rank. Paul's vision began to fade at the corners. Thinking his breath was failing him, he gasped in hoping to fill his lungs, but instead felt himself careening into a display case. Paul's last conscious thought was one of embarrassment, as he was about to make yet another mess. Chapter 3, Sumatra. Paul came to feeling rested, well rested in fact. The only peculiar part was the soreness in his legs, and the fact he was standing upright. He recognized the symptoms of sleepwalking even before he opened his eyes. Many times before Paul had dealt with this situation, acute stress and traumatic experience had caused him to have a momentary loss of consciousness. They called it a syncope, and it sometimes resulted in sleepwalking. The last time this had happened to him, Paul had missed his meds for a few days. It resulted in a bad episode, and he had regained consciousness in the middle of a dirt road 20 miles from his house at 2 in the morning, almost naked and freezing to death. Luckily it felt like Paul was still clothed, although he felt like he had taken a bath in syrup. He peeked down for a moment at his feet. He still had shoes on, but the laces were untied and covered in a red liquid. He lifted one foot to examine it, and it peeled from the floor with a sticky crack. Paul shook his head, realizing he had probably made a terrible mess for someone to clean up in the store. Had they kicked him out? He opened his eyes to figure out where he was, and his shock nearly knocked him over. He was still inside this fucking store. Was he even really conscious? This didn't make any sense. If he had really fallen into that display case, why hadn't someone collected him, or called the police? For that matter, where was everybody? He looked slowly in horror as the infinite expanse continued on as before, but now in every direction. Paul couldn't even see the front wall of the store anymore, or the row of registers. He began to wonder how he could be so far into a hallucination, one with continuity. Either this was a new progression of his condition, or he needed to consider his situation again. He looked at his feet again, sticky shoes clinging to his equally sticky socks. How could he have just been allowed to wander like this? He remembered what led up to his collision with the red goop display and thought at the very least it would have caused a commotion. Enough of one to draw someone's attention. Paul's mind began racing, thinking of possible explanations. When he reached up to rub his face and check to see if it too was covered in red goop, he instead found that he had something clutched in his hand. He was holding the broken strap of a small canvas handbag, khaki-colored and now soaked in the same red stuff.
Sniper up top.
What the
Just fucked me up.
Paul began to say out loud when he saw movement in the distance. This time he ducked behind a nearby
Did you
shelf
save
as
that one or what?
quietly as he could.
How'd you get the other one?
He held
Oh, from
his
Grandma's?
breath, not sure if he was hiding from his own
Is that a game you were
hallucination
playing at
or
Grandma's house too, or what?
He looked around the corner to see for himself when he was met by a small metallic pylon-shaped object rolling along the bright red path of his footprints. He began to say when he realized that he was letting this hallucination run his day, he needed to take control back. Paul stood up, shaking himself a bit to loosen up. He walked as calm as he could around the shelf into the intersection of the aisles that the little pylon was rolling down, back onto the path of his own footprints. Remembering the grounding meditations he had learned for moments like this, Paul looked at his watch and
We have a
serenely
wiener.
said time to wake up Paul and reached out to touch the imaginary little robot thing.
Oh, we gotta do it one more
He was
time.
surprised when it reported a loud beep and shot a proboscis out of a small opening on its top half and shocked Paul painfully. Hey, Paul yelled angrily and kicked the small thing over with ease. To his horror, several other identical pylons appeared from other aisles, flashing a dim red siren on their peaks angrily. Paul swung the bag he was holding defensively like a flail and sent some of its contents cascading into the space between them. He instinctively rushed forward to retrieve the items and saw the small robots rush to meet him. He grabbed what he could, zigzagging wildly, avoiding their proboscis, but he felt them pinch and nip at his legs and deliver painful, almost numbing shocks. He half-dove to grab a small rolled piece of paper when he felt something cut into his leg. Paul turned ragefully to see one of the little bastards had stabbed him with a needle. Damn it, he yelled as he picked up the pylon and threw it into the group of others, scattering them for a moment. Paul picked up the last few things and ran as fast as he could, feeling the few spots he had been shocked by those things going numb like he had been given anesthesia. After running for what felt like an hour, Paul's legs gave out and he fell tripping over his own feet. He grunted hard when he hit the ground and sighed a slow, breathless and defeated breath. As the sweat flowed down into his eyes, stinging them, Paul realized this wasn't what he had thought. He had tried to make sense of it as he ran, and by the time he fell it was still made no sense to him. Unless he was running or wandering in circles, this place was already impossibly large, and it looked like it. Paul's hallucination of an infinite space had to be limited by reality, but he had just sprinted for an hour away from an attack that he was carrying wounds from. His legs had small burns on them and a small bleeding puncture wound behind his calf.
Oh my.
What the fuck is going on? Paul said in an exasperated tone, painfully pushing himself up to a sitting position in the middle of the aisle and rubbed his chest where he had landed. Quietly groaning to himself, Paul noticed the handbag he was still holding tightly in his hand. A lot of good I did here, he said, taking in the sorry state of it. It was soaked in the same red liquid Paul was, the straps broken off on one side, and Paul had stuffed everything back into it messily after he used it like a makeshift weapon. He opened the bag only with the intention of reordering it and making sure it wasn't a lost cause. When he did, he saw the goop hadn't perforated the canvas like it had his shoes and socks, and the only red was from his own fingerprints as he stuffed the contents back in. There were some papers, a jacket, and a compass inside. Paul took them out, wiped off any mess he had left on the belongings and put them back in one at a time.
I just made $60 for 30 minutes of computer work.
The compass was ordinary, and the jacket didn't have a
120 an hour,
stain
fuck.
on it, but Paul paused when he picked up the rolled up piece of paper.
Paid in cash so I can keep it off the books.
See lines scrawled on the inside like a child's drawing. Feeling shame that he may have ruined some child's bag, he opened the scroll of paper. It was a hand-drawn map. He felt his grip on reality loosen again when he saw it was a map of this store, or parts of it.
Are you playing Rivals?
Yeah.
How
What
is
was
it?
happening here?
It's fun.
Was he dead?
Yeah, I should probably
Was
fire
this
up
a
the
hell for
stream so
difficult
you can see it, huh?
He certainly hadn't been evil, at least by his own measure.
Oh, it's third person?
What insanity felt
Yeah.
like?
Nice.
He had to stop that train of thought. It wasn't helping.
Rocking the
him
Wolverine.
anyways.
Yeah.
Paul sighed again and picked the map back up, feeling foolish as he did.
Punisher up
He
here.
resolved himself to work his way though this. He had never experienced anything this powerful or complex.
I'm brighter shores in it, I can't help it.
His
This
condition,
game,
so maybe
man.
This was a kind
I
of
was on there
spirit
earlier.
Paul looked at the map, and to his surprise, it was surprisingly detailed. It showed numbered aisles and descriptions of items on the shelf with crude drawings and words.
Nice, I made 26 silver and 27,000 experience fighting boars while I was
The
gone.
part was that there was no reference point to the entrance or exit. It looked as though the reference point the map was drawn from was a place called Taptown. Taptown. Paul said out loud, causing him to look around nervously. He looked back at the map and was drawn by its complexity. Realizing he was in the middle of an aisle, Paul ducked around a corner to a long row of shelves. Looking down the row, Paul saw what appeared to be paper towels or toilet.
I'm only missing 3 hats and I'll have all of them.
He gathered his things and ran to the display. It was large rolls of thick paper towels labeled as spill-away munch pages. Paul had no idea what that was, but he quickly pulled a few packages out and stacked them.
There's
on
a
the
total
shelf.
of 25
He
hats.
squeezed into the space he had made and reached behind.
Yeah.
Transferring them.
I own every hat ever made.
So it
You should see my closet.
just in case one of those things wandered by. Paul felt cozy and almost safe as he nestled
Man,
into his space and opened
What do you think the
bag.
most expensive hat would be? Probably the diamond encrusted
He
Pope
set
hat.
the bag aside and grabbed his own, pulling out the flashlight and sanitizing wipe and band-aid from his little first aid kit for his leg. After cleaning himself up, he stuck his flashlight in between 2 packages of spill-away munch pages so he could hold the map with both hands. It was no less absurd looking closely at it. The map itself was intricate, but so was the information written in a stranger's hand.
Yeah,
in
I bet that
footnotes
crown's
off
worth
to
a
the
lot.
side.
Too much.
It
Too
was always
much.
hard to believe that his subconscious could come up with so much detail, but he was holding it right in his hand.
What are you up to, Brian?
He contemplated that as his gaze trailed down to his
So what are you
leg
up to, man?
and shoes. The stab wound on his leg was just as real as the red goo
Oh, nice.
covering his lower half. Paul felt on the precipice of a thought when he heard a thump come from the aisle. He had been so distracted by this map he had forgot to keep watch. He looked
Oh,
over the
it gives you
small
issues on the
crack in between
OBS?
packages he had left and saw one of the pylons, slightly tilted to one side, struggling to roll forward. It beeped once loudly and rolled backwards.
Yeah, the game
tires
capture it
spinning,
doesn't capture
until
it for some
another
reason.
appeared a moment later and
Have you
followed.
tried
black
switching it?
screen.
Have you tried
It had
switching
been
game capture
high-centered
to
on a
like pick
small
up the
object
application
in the
itself and
aisle.
not?
Paul looked closer and saw it was his
And it's happening to both of us.
In the
must have
game
fallen
settings,
from his
instead of having
pocket
it
when
on
he
exclusive full screen, have you tried
No,
setting
he
it
said sadly
to
to
windowed full
himself.
screen?
The pylons both beeped once loudly, scanned the small object with a bright orange light and rotated
Think
fully
that might
around before
fix your
looking at
problem.
each other and rolling off in separate directions. Paul watched long after they had left, waiting for what came next. It felt like hours before he could relax and look away, finally letting himself
You have to run the
finish
game in
reading the
windowed?
map. He
Oh, it's
read
already in
every
windowed.
line of every note
Or
and
list
did his
window.
best to memorize the map itself and the paths.
Yeah, that's
to
the one
this
that
top
should
town.
be. That's
It
the one that
seemed
should
like there
be
were other
caught by game
locations that had
capture.
been mapped
Interesting.
with trails leading off to them, but this
Are other
map
people
wasn't
online
large
streaming it
enough to
though, or
cover. Places
Bigger
like the
streamers.
butcher's shop,
But they might
production
have like
of the
Streamlabs and
Star.
stuff.
Paul was still
So they might have
shocked
figured
this
it out.
wasn't
Well,
real
Streamlabs
because he couldn't
Streamlabs
draw
is
maps off
OBS.
this
It's
well,
just
let
like
alone
OBS with extra
hallucinate
shit
them.
built on top of it.
His eyes stopped on 2 words written off to the side of a trail drawn in multiple colors with crayons.
But
Maybe
the
only
core
the
the core of
streamers are allowed.
Streamlabs is
Paul
OBS.
felt his heart race. Was this the direction he needed? If this was a spirit's journey, and he was committing himself to it, could this be his sign? He was so caught up in excitement he almost leapt from his hiding spot, but before he could, he heard a scraping sound. Paul quickly looked out his peephole to the aisle, and saw the last thing he expected to see at this point, another person.
Mine southeast of the forest. Is
thin,
that one that's
scraggly
is that
looking
locked
man
by the
was crouched
paywall?
low, moving like a
Or is that a
predator
different
stalking.
mine?
He looked around slowly, pausing erratically, arching his head like a dog hearing a strange sound. Paul felt genuine fear fill him
It's
again as this man didn't appear at all to be a
I
hallucination.
haven't tried it
For
yet.
a moment his eyes met Paul's, and more so Paul never hallucinated living things. The man looked in Paul's direction again.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it's an Overwatch
gazing
killer
up at the
'cause it's
stacked
better.
Packages of towels on the top shelf Paul had put there. The man picked up the vape off the ground he had been after and slowly crept towards Paul, grinning an ugly grin. The man pulled a knife from his belt and stood up approaching Paul's hiding spot. He was steps away when a loud beep rang out from down the aisle.
Also read that it has a kernel-leveled anti-cheat that is very intrusive of your private data.
One of the associates mid-air and reduced to a spray of gore and cold bloody mist.
That's why I've been like, I don't know.
Paul closed his eyes as he heard it spatter on the plastic packaging outside of his hideout. Paul again felt shame at the messes he was making in this place. Chapter 4, Dark Roast. Paul was still in shock when he woke from whatever sleep he had just had. There was no way for him to track time, but it didn't feel like it had been very long. The smell of meat and copper was just starting to make its way into his hideout when he decided it was time to move. Paul had been worried that the associate would come for him next after eviscerating that man, but when Paul opened his eyes it was sifting through the dead man's remains with its
Hey, don't
stubby
forget
arms
about the
searching for
mission area.
something. To Paul's horror, when the associate found what it was looking for, it was his vape.
Huh?
The thing held it out over its wristwatch as a brilliant yellow light emanated and toned organically like knuckles cracking.
How the fuck
associate
did they just
turned
kill
in a
me that
circle
hard?
and made two similar clicking sounds itself, as a loud now
Very fast
familiar
as
beat
well.
sounded in apparent confirmation. The associate then left abruptly before several pylons appeared to clear the remains. Paul sat frozen in terror. Where the hell was he? That
Oh,
man
bummer!
had
The
just
mine
died
is
right in
paywalled,
front
so you
of
can't
him,
even you can't even finish the mission in the forest
He never
because it
hallucinated
requires
anything
going
with
into
the
the
face,
mine.
let alone the gory death and subsequent smells of blood.
Oh shit.
The bits of the dead
Think I
man
got-
stuck to the outside of his
Fucking
makeshift
crazy.
hideout was still there when Paul looked out of his peephole. The eye was
Crazed.
clean, the
Yeah.
floor devoid of any sign that there was an exploded person occupying the
Oh,
space
but this
along
game
its
has a major crashing problem.
Wondering where the pylons might have gone, Paul began to shift
I'm taking a
his weight
break
to
for a
get
little
better
bit.
view when he
We're
heard
taking
the
Austin
smooth
to a
Two telescoping robotic
What?
arms appeared in his
Polar
view,
Express
snaking up to adjust
night
something
at
above
his
the
school.
hideout.
Oh, fun.
A loud
Yeah.
beat sounded from below and
So we're
Paul
good.
could hear
It won't
more
be.
pylons
I won't be
rolling
gone too
down
long, but I'll be back.
He had to focus and calm himself, or he
Oh,
would give
shall.
up his position.
Word.
Paul shifted his weight to look again,
Yeah.
and as
shizzle.
he did, he crunched the plastic
shizzle.
wrapping of the packages he was sitting on.
Probably like an hour or
The
so.
moment he did multiple of those same arms shot though the bloody makeshift wall and impacted the shelf behind Paul hard.
But
Not hard enough to damage
Yeah.
or dent them, but certainly enough to
Yeah.
damage his face. Paul leapt out of the shelving like a wild animal caught in a trap, thrashing his limbs violently at the little pylons. He was like a monster in an 80s movie, kicking and stomping the dangerous little cones like a scared kaiju beast. It was impotent rage, however, as they quickly grouped up on him and began shocking him painfully with their proboscis. Our Paul yelled angrily.
Oh, I guess I got
took
time
off
for
in a split
one more
before
game.
He was overpowered. He felt the numbness from the shocks those damn pylons gave him for
Are you in one?
spared. How the hell could he survive this?
Are you guys-
Sure.
That man was
no, you
we
guys-
can.
raging
I crashed,
If
so I'm
those
at the
pylons
mission.
called one of those
Oh, yeah, Brian, you're in there by
things,
yourself.
Now he was dead. He ran as fast as he could until his lungs seared with pain. He had to stop vaping. The numbness in his legs caught him mid-step, stumbling and twisting his ankle painfully. He made it another few paces before he fell backwards this time somehow.
Brian, have you tried Brighter
Paul landed
Shores?
hard on his back, knocking the wind from him, and heard a sickening crunch from his pack. Before
It's
he could adjust himself or
little
regain full
RPG.
use of his legs, he looked around.
It's fun. It's
peering
real
under the
casual. It's kind of
shelves for
point
the
and
first
click
time.
and
There was
collect
a hair
and
of
fight and
space
stuff.
between the ground and the shelves, all placed in
It's
a
been most
meticulously
enjoyable.
straight line. Paul wondered at the size of this place and the care these shelves were placed with, and his mind was filled with thoughts of the Nazca line in Peru or Mexico. Paul had watched a documentary on it at some point.
Here, I got it up
while
now.
half asleep. But even still, Paul remembered the size of them, vast plains of desert with raised berms of dirt forming pictures, so large they were only visible from the sky. Paul remained lost in thought for a while, letting himself rest as his ankle was
Yeah, it's real.
pounding
It's
with
real
pain.
basic.
He feared he couldn't walk on it if he tried, let alone run from one of those things. Those
Yeah.
things, Paul said to himself in a crestfallen tone.
Yeah,
He
it's
had
made.
to be
It's
more
made by the
careful if
original
he got the
creators of
chance to
RuneScape.
be. It was possible that he had signed his own death warrant. Calling attention to himself again by assaulting another group of those cones.
Okay,
I guess I guess the company they worked for when they made RuneScape, they signed a 25-year no-compete clause, and so this is the first game they've been allowed to make in 25 years.
Paul had seen those things before.
That'll be it.
He had run into the shelf and dropped the khaki bag amongst those shattered bottles. How had he escaped that thing? He had fallen into the display and got covered in the red goop. He knew that much. How did he have the bag now? For that matter, the associate thing seemed angry when it found this bag in the red stuff. How had Paul not ended up like the man in the aisle? His head was
But the
swimming,
Indiana Jones game, have you tried that one out yet?
contradictory facts that were tearing at his mind. Paul felt a small bit of comfort at the smell of wood fire and flickering flame dancing in front of his now closed
It's pretty good.
Paul shot up into a sitting position. What? He smelled fire. He saw it. Paul stood wincing in pain as he put weight on his right foot and saw nothing as he looked around. He still smelled the smoke and almost felt heat wafting around the otherwise perfectly climate.
Quick, give me your arm. I need to make the Stormbreaker.
Paul lay down low as
Posting
he
this
was
to you on
before and looked
Facebook.
under the shelves, seeing a flickering light in the next aisle. Paul almost ran, limping on his sprained ankle around the corner of the aisle intersection. What he saw was a long row of metal trash cans with small holes cut in the sides to make fire barrels. They formed a path of sorts, a very, very long path that Paul couldn't see the ends of on either side. He also wasn't at a planned intersection.
Can you imagine, like,
because he
being
had
at that
to climb
meeting
over
where they
the
hand him the
junk piled
script?
up on the sides of the path to form a rudimentary boundary. That, and there was no
That is ball
sign
off.
telling him which direction took him.
Yeah.
Paul remembered the map he had found, and the fact that there was a compass rose drawn.
I knew you'd like
He may
that.
not know where he is right
This is
now, but he
stupid
had the
comedy.
compass from the bag
Oh,
he
yeah.
found, and could just
I love
I
follow
do
the
love this
direction
stupid
of the
shit.
exit and find his own way.
It's
He tore
fucking
open
funny
his
though.
bag and sat on a crate
Yeah,
set
it
off
is.
to the side of the path next to one of the barrels. He took the map out and considered it in the flickering
It's like
flame
that
light, then reached
slipping
down
on the banana thing.
where he was set.
You're
Set the
right.
map on his knee and
That's just so
crossed over
dumb,
the
but so
compass.
funny to me.
It was broken. Twin cracks covered the glass face of the compass, and
I think it's
arms
the
attached
smile he does at the end of that
disconnected
video
to the
fucking
bottom.
kills me.
That was the crash Paul had heard when he fell on his back.
Is that his
The
actual
part of
chin?
it at
That's what I
least.
want to know.
Yes, he
Pretty sure
actually
part
looks
of
like that.
Sound was also his as breaking as he had hit the ground
Yeah,
hard
that's his
and
real
fell the rest
face.
after.
Yeah.
Paul
Damn.
adjusted and threw the compass back into the bag with a quiet curse. He
Man,
looked
people
back and
people are
forth
after my
down
Black
the
Santa
path,
hat.
neither way looking safer than the other, and no more
Oh, they were
likely
doing that to me about
Considering
my
it for a moment, Paul resolved
hat
to
I was
get
wearing.
free
I had to
options
leave
on
the
this path.
area.
He could walk in either direction and find people.
Which
or
hat
where
was it?
people are going,
I can't
or
remember.
he
It
could
was
wait right here and wait for someone to find him. His only
I think it
experience
was,
with people here so far wasn't very good, and for a moment he
What one
wasn't
was
even sure it was a good
I think it was one of
idea
the
to
elf
seek them
hats.
out. But what
We need to kill the Iron Man if we can.
Paul
Try to
had
get
been
a
recluse
some damage on him. He's
because
just
he
like
trusted
poking
people
us like a
with safety when
cocksucker.
he wasn't in control of his actions. He had been robbed and beaten a few times during his hallucinations or when he slept.
Don't know what I
The fuck
want
is
to
this
do.
bitch go?
The barbarity people are willing to do those they think are defenseless. If he was on some type of spirit journey, he had to confront the
I gotta
pieces
hide
of
for a sec.
himself he
Let's go
put
get him.
away and
Wait.
disliked.
Oh, off the map, ready? Oh shit.
That's what was really happening.
I hit the pillar.
He had to choose in this moment. Was he going to wonder and wonder, maybe even wait? Or was this going to be the time Paul took back control?
Babe,
Experts and professionals
watch this
often
video.
spoke of measured approach and clinical diagnoses, but the gurus and shamans Paul had turned to spoke of grand journeys and healing
Careful, Brian.
self-discovery, though these kind of experiences.
Here we go.
This was so complex, though, so foreign and immense in its design. Paul felt like
Get the little healers in the back. Yep, yep. Oh shit.
Venom is nasty.
Master himself. He was afraid and reactive.
He was
that
focusing me hard.
Right,
I'm
here
gonna
we go.
really in this in
flank.
his mind and could have a real
I'll try and come in
experience.
from
Grow
behind.
as a person
Hit
here.
the little dicks.
Paul took a deep breath in and steeled himself to make a choice.
I got one too.
He was going to walk to his right, with the fire barrels off to his left side flickering apart through the sterile environment like an apocalyptic movie scene set up in a shopping mall. As he stood, Paul again winced at the pain in his ankle and the tickle of burns on his legs. He thought of how real his wounds felt and the very real exhaustion shortening his breath. Was this real, he thought for a moment, thumbing his own palms to ground himself. Did it really matter? Echoed in his head in his own voice, it rang in the true mind without decision. No, Paul said aloud as he walked, with his hands trailing over the tops of the smoking barrels, taking in the flames of burning wood. Chapter 5. Instant.
Nope.
Paul wandered, not sure for how long.
Fuck.
Nice wall, you fucking walled that bitch up.
Into the lava.
To rest and try not
Venom's
to
one.
supplies.
It did?
Then do it again, and again, getting no closer to anything except more intense.
Damn it.
Oh, damn it,
He
Micah.
started to feel like he was in a tunnel, or an echo bouncing off the walls of one. Fading a little every time it repeats until it's a muffled sound far away. He had stopped many times and felt like he had been there before, having to look around to find some subtle
The cheese is
strange
oozing.
difference in his surroundings. He would see a piece
yourself
of
a double
trash where before it
cheeseburger.
wasn't, or see some strange item on the shelves and realize he had actually moved. The items on the
Crispity
shelf
crunch,
became the
damn,
landscape
look
Paul
at the
watched
bacon.
as he walked. Cans, jars, bags,
That's just so
boxes and
funny.
containers of every size, enough to make Paul uneasy.
So when that video like first came out and was really popular, I went to Five Guys and was like talked to the guy behind the counter at it. He's like, they played this movie at my or they played that review video at his orientation.
Cleaning agent or a butter spray.
I guess because like this is the experience we want to give all of our customers.
Paul didn't know, and he was determined not to find out. He wasn't sure how this place worked, whatever it was. What he did know was that he had seen a man reduced to paste right in front of him. Honestly, Paul hadn't even taken the time to process that. What had that man even done to deserve pasting? Paul remembered him picking up his vape. The pylon things had gotten stuck.
Froggy Fresh. I don't even know who that is.
Following Paul's trail. Did that associate think that man was Paul? He had started to sweat a bit, and his head panged with pain at the base of his skull. He slowed to a halt and leaned forward to rub his cramping legs. When he did,
that guy.
Flopped lightly onto his head, spilling the only
That guy, he got his
contents
career
onto
started
the
from
floor.
like he was on Daniel Tosh back in the day. He did that like rap video with his friend like in the computer room or whatever. He had like snot coming out of his nose.
Right into a small puddle. No, Paul exclaimed as he reached for it, catching the map before it settled in the liquid.
On the joy.
Quickly across the paper, blotting the ink. Paul took off his shirt
That's funny.
and folded the map carefully in it and set the bundle next to a nearby fire barrel to dry. What the fuck, man? Paul said in an exasperated tone to himself, picking up the
I think it got taken off YouTube. I'm not seeing it on YouTube.
to grab them. He had been recognizing the symptoms of insomnia setting in as he walked, tracking them as best he could. He never felt this way during his episodes, he normally just felt free. Paul would wake feeling rested in his mind but physically tired when he sleepwalked.
I made out with so many girls and made out with every girl in the world.
Training wheels had been taken off. Paul felt aware of himself like he never did when he was managing his condition. He felt like he had agency and control over where he went and what he did.
Yeah, he's just a dorky high school kid that became famous for being
He
so
just
dorky.
had to navigate this paradoxical place and learn something about himself. When he thought about it, even the setting made sense, a little. Paul had always feared going into public and having an episode, feeling the stigma of being crazy
See if I can
or
find
being
it.
judged for his lifestyle. So if he was confronting his demons on this journey, he wasn't surprised the battlefield was one of the most public settings he could imagine, a supermarket. The only strange thing was that in his own way, Paul had always loved going to big stores. Any big store, actually. Anything of sufficient size that Paul could go shopping
Well, I
with
found it. He didn't release it under.
Not actually have to be close
This was
to
5
anyone.
years ago.
He could walk for hours at night in big 24-hour department stores and listen to podcasts or audiobooks. He even liked to look for new items to try or a treasure to bring home. Maybe a new sauce or snack that he hadn't seen before, or a new piece of technology that he thought might have a use in his home. Money wasn't really much of an object for Paul. Time was, however, and Paul snapped out of his own thoughts back to his sore body.
I think I'll play some Path of Exile for a little bit.
Started no less than 10 times already on this trudge, and Paul was an experienced hiker. He could easily cover 5 miles between stops and not feel overly fatigued. Yet Paul was pushing himself now and felt spent. He had even tried keeping
Alright, I'm gonna go to that thingy.
The food rotting in his pack the last time he had stopped was the only indicator he needed to know it had been more than a day though.
Alright, so I found giving it a break, and the comments are killing me.
No water, no sleep or rest that meant anything.
Alright.
One of the top comments is that he's saying that shit from his soul. This is exactly what MLK died for.
All conspiring to
Look who's been saving up his passes.
These were all familiar thoughts to him, warning signs that he
They respected me for it, Peter Griffin.
Conspiratorial, hypervigilant.
When you're 1% West Nigerian.
Early indicators of losing his baseline circadian rhythm. Typically, Paul would look for strange eating habits or losing interest in his hobbies as the next warning sign of an episode, but he was already balls deep in one right now. Paul shook his head painfully as he was fighting off a dehydration headache. He sat heavily on a box next to the fire.
I hopped off. I'm gonna play some Path of Exile for a little bit.
The broken compass. Turning it over in his hand, Paul admired its plainness. It was scuffed and worn, its features rugged and sturdy. He shook it and heard its interior
Get to work.
rattle around like a maraca. Paul laughed to himself as he tossed it back into the bag. When he did, it jiggled
I think
like
it's
it
on
was
Steam.
made of jello.
I just haven't seen people play it.
Paul quickly looked away at the shelves next to him, trying to avoid the abnormality.
Yeah,
When
it's
he did, they began to lean
$13.12.99.
like candles melting into tallow. Paul put his face in his hands and screamed angrily. Was he losing his mind? He never fell deeper mid-episode. He never lost himself that totally. It felt like it was happening to him now. The imagined infinity of this place shimmered like heat waves, and Paul felt a familiar wave of nausea tighten his stomach as he stood. He looked around, desperately for somewhere to go, anything to help ground him from losing it completely. Paul stumbled forward towards the shelves with his hands outstretched, not sure if any of this was real. He slammed into the shelf and sent a cascade.
If this doesn't win a BET award, I'm suing. Comments on this prove that context and intention is the difference. This is the blues. I can't even be mad, bro. Put his whole soul into this. 10 out of 10.